White House COVID-19 response team celebrated today as they announced Thursday was the highest single-day total for vaccines in 6 months, with 2.2 million doses administered, half of which were boosters. Vaccinations could be rising due to reports that Omicron is spreading more than twice as quickly as the Delta variant. Omicron has now been identified in nearly 24 countries and at least 6 U.S. states. There's nothing like fear to make people act right. But then there's the other side of fear and this bizarre story out of Italy. One anti-vaxxer there was so against getting his shot, but apparently needed to qualify for a vaccination certificate, that he brought a fake arm, a silicone prosthetic, to his appointment. The man now faces charges of fraud. Joining me now to discuss is BNC Chief Medical Editor, Dr. Corey Hébert. So the Italy thing is just ridiculous and bizarre, and I'm going to bring a prosthetic arm, a fake arm with me everywhere I go now, just in case I need to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, let's seriously, right? Let's talk about, this increase, this surge in people getting shots. Fear is an incredible motivator, isn't it?
Okay, so fear and money are basically the only two motivators at this point. Fear and money. If you told somebody you give them $1 million to get a COVID-19 vaccine, it wouldn't matter who made it, right? And if you told somebody they would die tomorrow if they didn't get the COVID-19 vaccine, they'd get it. Those are the biggest two motivators. And right now, people are very concerned about this Omicron variant. They are, and I find that as soon as we have some type of new thing that comes out, like when the FDA gave the full approval, or we have a new variant, it makes people get the vaccine. And the reason why is because it gives them an out, right? It gives them, they've been dug in for so long that now they say, oh, okay, wait a minute. Okay, y'all, Omicron, we don't know nothing about that. We're going to go ahead and get this shot. Or the FDA has approved it, so we're going to go ahead and get the shot. They want to get the shot. Nobody wants to die. Everybody knows that this thing is actually protecting people from dying. Over 90% of people in the hospital right now in the United States for COVID-19 are unvaccinated. That is a fact. So, it is common sense to know that if we have a new variant, the variant is highly transmissible. It really is not causing severe illness in lots of people, but that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is if it causes moderate illness in everybody at the same time, then the curve is not flattened. Remember, we weren't trying to flatten the curve so that people wouldn't get COVID. We were trying to flatten the curve so people wouldn't get it all at the same time. Because if everybody gets moderately sick, then our infrastructure is destroyed. We don't have enough hospitals. We don't have enough doctors. The second reason why Omicron is very ominous is because if you get mild symptoms, if you get that scratchy throat, whatever, you still can have long COVID, which means you're going to have neurologic problems for the rest of your life. So the key is you don't want to get this. So you need to do what? Wash up, mask up, separate, and vaccinate. As we've said over and over and over, this is it's simple at this point, but you have to do it.
Right. We don't know very much about this virus. The early indications are that it spreads very quickly, but we don't have the science, the full science, real studies to back that up yet. We also don't know, other than anecdotally, that it's giving people mild symptoms, because my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that many of the people who have gotten it early have been relatively young people. We haven't seen, in my understanding, this, really tested among really fragile people, elderly people, people with, compromised immune systems. So can we really even say with this early data, with this very small number of cases, that it's not going to get you severely sick?
Yeah, no, we cannot. We can only say that the people that have gotten it so far, by and large, have been not severely ill. That's the only thing we can say at this point. We also can say that we have studies coming out of Israel that showed that the vaccines are holding up pretty good over there against the Omicron variant. So that's a good thing. And we also have so much disinformation out there. They're literally, I put it on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. There is a Twitter post where someone put together this not even a meme, just this article that said that Pfizer's CEO came out to say that you're going to have to get a vaccine every week for the next year and a half to be protected. Now, that is totally untrue, but it looks really real on Twitter. So I kind of posted what the Pfizer CEO did say, which was the vaccine, Pfizer's vaccine, they said should hold up very well against this variant. So there's a lot of disinformation out there right now. So what we have to do is BNC, we give the information for the African American population. So if you want to get the data and the data based on what you need to do as an African American person, you need to tune in and listen to us. Because look, am I lying? Am I turning into Negro Damas here? Everything I come on this show and say has happened. Everything. And at this point,
Right.
we have to know that if we do what
Did
we're
you
supposed
just
to
say
do,
Negro
we're going to be
Damas?
okay. I did say Negro Damas because if you look back,
Hey,
you
man,
can
I
see.
have time for one more question.
See. I'm just saying. I have been giving.
All right, well, then text me the lottery numbers for tomorrow. But listen, this is one last question I want to ask you. So, I had a friend say, that he was still trying to be tolerant of people who were anti-vax and, whatever. I'm not anymore. Are you still, early on we were like saying, let's just try to make sure we educate people, get more information. This ignorance, willful ignorance at this point, is no longer about tolerance to me. Are you still trying and in the business of trying to be tolerant and educate and all of that? Or are we now to the point where people know and they're just choosing to live a dangerous life?
Yeah, I am tolerant of trying to educate people, but I'm intolerant of the people that have decided absolutely not, and they don't want to hear it. They just have done their own research which is sitting on the toilet watching Facebook videos. That's inappropriate. You know what I mean? And that's not enough science for me. And so I don't tolerate it. I don't like people that are unvaccinated. They cannot come into my home. They cannot come into my clinic. They cannot come within 6 feet of me. That's just the bottom line. And I think if we get, as a culture, we should get more intolerant because our vaccination rates are less than the vaccination rates in Africa. And they don't even have the opportunity to get the vaccine in some places. So I think it's horrible. Be intolerant.
Right. Dr. Corey Hébert, Negro Damas himself, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Always a pleasure, sir. Have a great weekend.